Hi, I'm Zach, this is Chasing Cars, and today is a really exciting day. We're here in Victoria with this, the new BYD Shark 6 ute, the first ute from BYD to launch in Australia. So we've got a very quick first look of this car today. That's going to be the whole point of this video. Quick first impressions, a look inside and a look around the car, and of course we're going to take it for a very quick drive as well to see exactly how good this ute is in Australian conditions. So while this is a first look, make sure to stay tuned to Chasing Cars for a future garage review where we'll be testing this one properly off-road and on-road too. But before I get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe as always to Chasing Cars, and while you're down there, hit the bell icon so you're notified when we make a cool video just like this one. Chasing Cars, honest reviews of your next car. Brought to you by Budget Direct. So, shock horror, this ute is not turbo diesel powered. Instead, it is a plug-in hybrid. What that means is this has a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine that's connected to two electric motors, one on the front and one on the rear, produces total outputs of 321 kilowatts and 650 newton meters of torque. So this is a serious bit of kit. So this BYD Shark 6 has a 29.58 kilowatt hour battery pack positioned underneath. It's actually built into the chassis, and it should give about 100 kilometers of electric range, BYD says. So with this BYD Shark, the powertrain is capable of doing just 2 liters per 100 kilometers combined. That's with a full battery. With a flat battery, they're saying around 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers. So one thing we don't know about this BYD Shark just yet is the price, and they are saying it's going to be probably around or under $68,000. But we're going to have to wait until October 29th to find out the official pricing. So what are my first impressions of the inside of the Shark 6? Well, this is a really nicely done interior. It feels premium, it feels high-end. It's got a lot of nice materials, these cool grab handles, and also these aircraft-like switches just in the center here. Really cool, really different. You don't see that in many utes. These seats, really comfortable, well bolstered, supportive, and this leather steering wheel is awesome. It feels good to hold, nice and thick, but not too thick like a BMW. Now, the main technology in here is, of course, this massive 15.6-inch screen. It seems to work really well. It also rotates in typical BYD fashion. That's a pretty cool little quirk. And you have a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster as well. It shows a lot of information. We'll get more into this in a future review. But for now, wow, BYD is really showing what it can do with interiors. So what is it like in the back of the BYD Shark 6? Plenty of room actually, really surprising. Plenty of knee room, plenty of toe room. Headroom's also excellent. In the back here, you also get air vents, that's good to see. And you also have a 230-volt socket down there, and a USB-A and a USB-C port. And a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders. Pretty standard in most utes, but this is really spacious back here. I think it'll be comfortable for adults on long trips. So let's talk a little bit about the tray, a really important part of any pickup truck here in Australia. This one has a load area of about just over 1,500 mils long by 1,500 mils across. Now, one of the really cool things about this tray, the tailgate is slightly damped, which is really nice. I like to see that on other products like the D-Max, etc. So that's really cool. It's got a gas strut. Inside we have a spray-in tub liner, which is good. Stuff doesn't get scratched, which is nice. And around just behind me are 3 230-volt sockets. So you can basically plug in stuff and it works like a V2L or vehicle to load system, this being a plug-in hybrid. That's really handy if you want to run extra power tools or even a fridge back here. So payload for the Shark 6 is locked in at 790 kilograms, which is quite a bit less than something like a Toyota Hilux that sits around the 950 to 1,000 kilo mark. Now, the other big thing about this ute is that it has a 2,500 kilogram braked towing capacity. That's about 1,000 less than some of the more mainstream utes in the market. But this has a coil spring rear suspension, and I think it's definitely worth it in terms of handling for this ute. Alrighty, so this is a very, very, very pre-production drive of the BYD Shark 6. We're in Victoria, we're having a go. What are the first impressions of this car? Well, it feels good in here, it feels comfortable. It's riding really well, and just driving the tracks just up and down just recently, I've been really surprised with how good this car has gone on road tires through some pretty gnarly tracks in the Yarra Valley. This does not feel like a budget ute. It's really nice inside, it's well appointed, everything is kind of like an aircraft sort of feel with all the switches and buttons. It's really nicely done. And well, the main fanfare is that hybrid system, that 1.5 litre turbo engine that's mated to 2 electric motors. One motor on the front, one motor on the back, making 321 kilowatts of power and 650 newton meters of torque. That's really impressive. 5.7 seconds to 100 apparently. It does feel kind of fast. We've got some drive modes down on the steering wheel as well as terrain modes. This thing is actually a bit of a weapon, and I think it's going to really surprise a lot of people come when it goes on sale. We're going to hear more about it on October 29. They're hoping to have the first ones in Australia by December. We're very excited to have a better drive of it that's longer than 5 minutes down the road with a Chasing Cars garage review. Stay tuned for that. All right, doing a bit of off-roading here. Yarra Valley, BYD Shark 6. First time giving it a bit of an off-road test. As I said before, it's nice and quiet. It's nice not having a diesel engine rattling about. And it's quite responsive too with those electric motors. Plenty of flex, a lot of grip too. Plus that instant torque. You just can't beat that instant torque of those electric motors. I don't think a diesel engine will ever be able to do something like that. So also one thing I will add is that this has 2 really cool buttons on the steering wheel. One for driving modes and one for terrain modes. We're going to go and do something a little bit tricky, and you can just flick the terrain mode. So we're sort of in the mountains, so I'm going to go mountain mode and see how it goes there. So this is definitely a seat of your pants moment here. Trying to not get stuck. We're doing pretty well. The BYD is doing excellent, considering this is the first ute it has ever brought. Okay, here's the tricky bit coming up here. We ease ourselves into it, into this hole. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we did it. It's gnarlier on the way back. So there you go. That's a very quick look at what you can do with the new BYD Shark 6. Stay tuned, we're going to be doing a lot more off-roading in this ute when it comes out very soon. So that's a very quick look around the new BYD Shark 6 ute, the first ute from BYD to launch in Australia. We're going to have more information about this car on October 29, including pricing, but for now, it's first impressions, and I think really, it's a pretty good thing. So what do you think about the BYD Shark 6? Would you buy one over something like a Toyota Hilux or a Ford Ranger? Well, let us know down in the comment section below. While you're there, like and subscribe to Chasing Cars.